Hello, and welcome to the Rockport Fulton Art Colony documentary, produced by the Rockport Cultural Arts District. This short film was inspired by the Texas A&M University Press book, The Rockport Fulton Art Colony, written by authors Kay Betts and Vicki Merchant. This film captures the vibrancy of the Rockport, Texas art scene, where creativity along the Gulf Coast comes to life. Enjoy.
Art for me is life.
Painting together is one of life's greatest joys.
That just looking at art is good for you.
You do from your heart that's honest.
A way that you can express yourself.
To show you, to experience, to leave behind a memory for you.
Art is an everyday life.
Of expressing your love for nature.
Each one of us has a special thing to give.
I'm still experimenting.
And feeling free to be yourself and be creative.
You never quit. You're never retired. Your job is to put it on canvas.
There will always be the air of Simon Michael here. He was the first. He's the one who put Rockport on the map as an art colony.
He used to travel from town to town and taught, and then he would come back on Saturday morning to teach the kids.
He was a philosopher, a painter, could tell you how to raise children, that he never had children,
Finally moving to Rockport and having a home and a studio, and he had a gallery there and still taught classes.
His philosophy was take the poor and give it dignity, whatever you're painting.
When he was younger and traveling in Paris, Paris was considered back in that period of time, that's rather than going to a big university, you went to Paris. That gave you cred, if you will. You had the Cafe Society where, artists of all, writers, theater, he grew up in this. And then he brought some of that here.
So he brought his life's experiences, which were European. So plein air is an old French technique of going outside with your canvas and paint and setting up and painting the scene in front of you at a particular time of day. So it might be early morning or late sun, and the light was what was interesting. He had lots of followers to do that. And
Getting your paint box and going out with some other friends, which makes it much more enjoyable to have someone to talk with and joke.
So the Rockport Art Association came about from the students of Simon Michael from here. At one point he was showing in other places, they were not, so they decided to have their own show. It was just people who loved art, loved to make art, and started with nothing.
That weren't professional painters necessarily, but they did paint. That was a central thing. We called ourselves the Rockport Art Guild. So it became then like 20 people and 30 people. We started out in what was a grocery store. It was a Brock building. Then we have people like Miss Estelle Starr. They were mainly women. And then Estelle pretty much took over the thing, and it became her gallery. She paid all the rent, then let everybody else use the place.
But she came here, and this was just a historical place that was the hub before even art. This was a mercantile. Classes were given all over this building, even all the way back here. So these people would come that wanted to paint with her, but they weren't extremely comfortable painting.
She had this vision way beyond. She was like a gardener, tending a garden, making sure it grows and continues on.
And then finally, we decided we're going to have our own building, the Rockport Art Guild. It evolved from the Rockport Art Guild to the Rockport Art Association, and then that became the Rockport Center for the Arts.
The O'Connor family donated the building to the Art Center, but they had to get it moved from across from the ski basin to its place on the Navigation District land in front of the beach. But luckily, some of the people involved were engineers, and they figured out what to do. And it was just a lot of the artists putting themselves into that building to put it together to have a place.
And then we thought we would have an art show in the summertime, right around the time of the 4th of July.
People would come, just like always, from Houston, Dallas, Austin for the weekend. And that's a big party weekend.
And bring them out to the grounds, and someone else built these wooden sectioned areas for the artists.
We built the booths for the artists to have. And we built it out of lumber that Mr. Whittle had saved up to build a house. He had been buying lumber for years, and he decided, heck with it, I'm never going to build a house, so let's build these booths. So every year we had to store these things away. And every year we would get them out and set it up. And we invited artists to come here to Rockport for that Rockport Art Festival.
Well, I believe that Rockport has always been a main attraction because the fishing and the hunting, and a lot of artists, they found this place, and besides having the hobby of fishing and hunting, they started creating in their paintings all of those.
What we call the wildlife artists, you know, Jack Cowan and Herb Booth, Kent Alberg.
And it was everything, you know, it was group gang together, quail hunting, you know. We had a great time. We had so much in common because we all passionate about nature. And we all admired Jack Cowan. He was the source of inspiration for both Al Barnes and Herb Booth. Both techniques, painting techniques, and I was free of that because I was sculpting, so I can do my own bloody thing. We want to celebrate nature. We want to tell people, look at this, look how incredible nature is.
They've actually asked me to print, you know, their fish. So it's a collaboration, you know, of creativity among the society of artists, and that still continues today.
There's so many people that want to come here and retire and do their art, and also the art is appreciated here, you know, and then we have, of course, a beautiful art center, and then we have the art festival, and you know, like, artists are very well supported in this town.
Artists want to participate. They want to keep Rockport what it is. Has a high level of participation because of the love people have for each other and the people have for this community.
But one unsung hero, I think, of the Art Colony is the donors, the people who have supported these artists, the people who buy the art.
2016, the state of Texas designated the Rockport Cultural Arts District in the downtown area of Rockport, Texas. This also provides certain resources at a state level to support our artists and to help us to continue this legacy of the art colony within Rockport Fulton.
I feel very excited and honored to continue the tradition of bringing art to Rockport after moving here and kind of wanting to be a part of that legacy.
I think it's continuing to be a very prominent art town and community, a very well-respected art community, and I see that continuing to grow and get more and more out there.
This little bitty town is keeping up with it, if not leading the charge, you might say, into this coming century. And my life is lengthy enough now that I've seen the Model T and now we're driving a Ferrari, you know.
If Simon Michael were here, I think he would be so proud of the legacy that he started.
And he's still going, and he will continue to go. But if we can keep him alive in the world today, that's kind of important.